One of y'all, you'll be able to come up with all the conversation. You have your boy to life. Y'all got your coffee? Y'all ready? We got a lot of stuff to figure out. So they will not tell y'all. You ain't got your coffee. You better be ready to go. I got one of my dearest friends in the studio today. Award-winning journalist. Y'all have seen her on national TV everywhere. She's in the building. And America, when I say she looking good, she looking good, she looking good. But before I get to the show, y'all, before I get into this show today, I just want to talk to you guys real quick about what's going on around the world. Y'all see some things that happening, especially with in politics. I'm not going to talk about politics much, but I want to say, make sure, and I always say this, pray for our nation. Pray for each other that we are doing the right things and standing by each other. I've just talked with my guest here. I'm on this one who she is in a minute. If you haven't watched my social media, the problem with that is you should know that I listen to me. But I was talking to her prior to when I tell people, I can't believe nothing. When I said that I'm so happy in my life that if I want to campaign, I cannot. When I say God shows up and shows out for me, He does. In my life right now, man, I'm blessed. And I don't just say that just to be saying the words I am truly blessed and happy. But it came with hard work, dedication, consistency, and owning up to what I did. So that's my message before the show today, is to make sure that whatever you're going through right now, not a Bible talking about, I think it's something like this t-shirt house. But it will. I am a living testament. Hang in there, treat people right, and be accountable for what people should be wrong, and be able to look people in the eye and tell them to be wrong things. And from that point on, I guarantee you that God's going to open all the doors. This is what I would tell somebody in intelligent before I get to the okay, y'all ready? You got the coffee? Take a sip. All right, you ready? I'm going to challenge you to do this. I'm going to challenge you to laugh real hard at something really funny and be angry at something. You heard me right. Try to laugh and be angry at the same time. It's impossible. So the point is to that little exercise is you can be happy. The people who are talking about somebody about something about that, they're not going to be happy. They're not happy. Because if you are happy, happy folks never talk about anything. Happy folks don't have time. People that have like right now, I'm not going to be mad at about that. Right? So if you hang around people that talking about other people, it's not going to do you any good. The blessings of being sort of being blocked because we got very interesting. All right. So next time you get something negative to us now, get away from it. All right. Wish you nothing but the best, nothing but success. So God bless me on the Coffee and Conversation to have an award-winning journalist. Yeah, I've seen her all over the world. She has a couple stories. She has talked to some of you guys personally. She's covered some of your family. She's been at the school. She's been in your homes for years. I didn't know it was 25 years, but she's been in people's homes for over 25 years. And I'm still amazed that I have her phone number in my cell phone. I can call sometimes and text her sometimes. I have the one and only, the sensational, beautiful, award-winning journalist, Ronda Robinson in the building. How you doing?
I'm awesome. How are you?
Good.
Yeah. I'm doing all right. I feel like I'm like part of the family now. It's my third, fourth time.
Yeah. But I think people coming on because this is talking conversation.
Okay.
This is different.
Okay.
Right? You know, we interview, we talk about a few different things, right? But this show here, I want to really get into how did Ronda become Ronda, right? What was that? Because I know you. I know your beautiful daughter. I still can't believe that she's in college.
Oh my goodness.
I know, because I remember when I met her, I think she was elementary.
Mm-hmm.
And last time I'm looking up to her, she there you go.
She'll be a sophomore this year.
Wow. Shout out to you, beautiful daughter.
Yeah.
But people know you if they're watching you from you know, like stuff. That's fine. You're that. But what I don't know is who are you? Where were you really born? Did you come from a two-family house? I don't even know if you have brothers and sisters. I've never talked to you about this. So what I want to do is kind of take us back to you. Were you born in Brandon?
No.
Okay.
I have originally from Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm from a two-parent household. My parents were in education. My mom is a retired English teacher. My dad he retired as a teacher, coach, and basketball coach. So,
Wow. Okay.
and when I originally planned to go to college, you know, because education is in my blood, my plan was to be a teacher.
Really?
I wanted to be a teacher. And then in order to graduate, we had to do internships. And so I interned at a TV station.
Okay.
And fell in love with the business.
Brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I have twin sisters. Two sisters who are twins.
Okay, so you're not a twin.
I'm not a twin, but I have two sisters who are 6 years younger than me.
Okay.
And Renee and Rochelle. And one's in North Carolina, and the other one just moved in with me and my mom. I moved my mom here from North Carolina.
I never knew you had sisters. You got two sisters. It's two more beautiful women out there.
Beautiful.
And they twins.
Renee's married, so she's taken.
Okay, what about the other? What about the other? What about the other one? What about the other one? She's single?
Yeah.
Is that the one here?
The other one is
that
here.
the one here?
Yep, with my mom. So yeah.
We'll talk after the show. We'll talk after the show. We'll talk after the show. So are you close with your sisters? Obviously, it seems that you are.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No brothers.
No brothers.
Okay.
No brothers. And so yeah, I moved to Birmingham when I got the job at Fox 6.
Okay. Now, but I don't want to jump different. I want to ask you, were you a great student in school?
I was. I don't know how I was able to still kind of get my party on in college and still stay on the dean's list, my AB honor roll. But
what about in elementary? Were you good in elementary?
It was good.
Okay.
Yeah, I was always a good student.
AB honor roll?
Not always.
Oh,
AB
wait a minute.
Honor roll.
Wait a minute now.
Not always. I kind of got a little more serious about my grades in college.
What was your toughest subject in elementary?
I don't think I really had a tough subject in elementary, but middle school, high school, college, I struggled with math.
Okay.
I had to have a tutor in college for math. Math was not easy for me.
So when you graduated from high school, did you get like a scholarship? Really? How many scholarships did you get?
I had one. I was a debutante.
What is that?
And
don't be using these big newscaster words on me.
It is the black folks version of a quinceanera.
What is that?
That's what the Hispanic families have. Their like when the child turns 16, they're coming to age celebration, their introduction to society. And it's the black folks version of that. And so we have the debutante ball. And so you learn about etiquette, you learn about scholarships, you learn about just different ways to be a lady, how to dress, how to walk properly. We learned how to do the waltz.
So what age was that? 16, 17?
That was my junior year of high school.
Okay,
so you raise money as a debutante. The person who raises the most becomes like the queen of the debutante ball. And then
that's
the money
why you should use a debutante.
Right.
Okay.
So then the money you raise, it goes toward your college education. So I was fortunate not to have any college debt when I graduated.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when you went through the debutante, I guess, the course, right? Did you already know most of the stuff, like how to walk, how to talk, or did you actually learn something through that course?
I learned a lot. Like it used to confuse me, like which fork to use or whatever when you're at a fancy dinner. So
the etiquette part of it. So they don't even do things like that much anymore, right?
Well, my daughter was a debutante.
Really?
And she actually won. I didn't win when I was a debutante, but she actually won her junior year, and that money that we raised, it went toward her college fund. Yeah.
So when you run, so they have anything like that for guys?
I'm not sure.
That's messed up.
I'm not sure. They might.
I've never heard of it. I've never heard of it. So what college did you go to? I don't even know that.
North Carolina Central University. It's a HBCU.
Okay.
If you've ever heard of North Carolina A&T, we are rivals, kind of like with the Magic City Classic, Alabama A&M and Alabama State. Okay. We have an annual classic called the Labor Day Classic in North Carolina.
Okay. So what did you go to college to major in?
English with a focus on elementary ed.
Mhm.
And then when I did that internship and fell in love with TV, I kept my English major, but changed it to a media concentration, media journalism concentration.
Now I got to ask you, what about that internship that made you say, okay, forget English, right?
Yeah,
Everything,
forget being a teacher, right?
forget being a teacher, like, but you know, mom and dad and all this other upbringing.
Yeah.
That was 12 years of what? No, hold on, that was like 16 years or 18 years of your life, right? But you went to an internship for a short period of time, which was about what, 6 months or a year, and all of a sudden it changed. What was it about that internship that changed you?
You know, it's all about exposure. And that's why when I talk to young people, that's one of the things I suggest to them, like to do internships and be exposed to things that you've never even thought about, because sometimes you don't know what you love until you actually know it, till you learn about it.
Right.
And so for me, it was never on my radar. I had never been exposed to it.
Right.
And so when I did the internship, and I was just like, wow, you know, there's this big fire, and then there's this reporter here on the scene talking about it, you know, and then, you know, you're looking at the anchors in the studio and all of it, just the hustle and bustle in the newsroom, typing up stories, breaking news, like all of that was exciting.
But how did you get into it though? Because you was in your English major, so from English major to doing an internship for a TV station, or was it at the school, or was it an actual TV station?
It was a TV station. We did not have a TV studio at our school. It was a smaller HBCU. So you was actually
at a live TV station.
So the ABC affiliate in Durham.
Explain to me how that transition from you was an English major at the college, but you actually got an internship at a TV station. How did that come about?
So what I did was I just applied for different internships. I also interned at a radio station and fell in love with that too.
Okay.
And so my first job out of college was in radio. So I started in radio, merged into TV. But I loved it. I loved being on the radio. I loved meeting people. I loved how in both radio and TV, you know, every day is different. Yeah. Like some jobs, and not to downplay any career or whatever, you go in at 8, you leave at 5, you're gonna do the same thing every day. Right. For me, it was exciting to have a job where everything was different every day. Even on the radio, like you don't know who's gonna call in. Yeah, you know, you don't know what the top stories of the day are gonna be. So you get there and you're kind of making it work as you know, throughout the day. So that was exciting to me and I enjoyed it. And I was able to keep my English major. So I didn't have to start all over again in college.
But that did help you because if you have become a journalist.
Right.
Right.
So I kept my English major and then decided to have a media journalism concentration. So my degree, my BA bachelor degree is in English, but I had a media journalism concentration. So I was able to change all my course studies to media journalism and then not have to worry about the elementary ed courses, because it happened early enough in my college career that I was really only taking the
basics,
that you have to take that first and second year.
Gotcha.
So by the time I decided to switch, it was like, okay, keep your English major, but just switch over your concentration. And so I was able to stay on track that way. So it was wonderful. I have enjoyed this journey.
And I'm watching the look on your face, but I want to go here, right? Because I want you to go back to the day that you were at the TV station, right? What the noise was, the people around, and you knew that this is where I'm going to be for the rest of my life. What was that moment like, and when did you know?
I knew the first day.
The first day?
The first day of my internship, when I'm out there with the reporter watching her do her live shot.
What was she doing?
Like, how do you do this? I want to do this.
Right.
And she was like, you know, she was a real soul sister. She's like, my sister, all you got to do is, you know, just keep doing it, keep practicing. You need to put together a resume tape. You need to practice and do so. Every time you go out with me, my sister, I want you to stand in front of the camera and we're going to see how you do. So she really
she mentored you.
Yeah.
Who was
she took me under my wing. Her name was Gail. And I said, okay. And I did it. And the same thing at the radio station. Like, they kind of took me under their wing.
How did you get to the radio station? How did you get to the radio station? Because you're on TV. So did you ever get on TV with her?
I interned.
Okay, so you just interned too. So you did. So you left TV for intern, then you intern also at the radio station.
So I was doing both. Like, so because in order to graduate, you had to have a certain number of internship hours.
Okay.
So I had a certain number of hours I got with my TV internship.
Okay.
A certain number of hours I got with my radio internship in order to graduate. So say you had to have, 60 hours of internship, whatever that total number was. And that looks good. And so that was fun for me. And I actually got my first job when I graduated at the radio station. They hired me to be the administrative assistant. And so I was answering the phone. Okay. I was answering the phone and taking messages and stuff. Okay. But of course, I wanted to be on
air. Yeah.
And so because I had no experience, they were like, because Raleigh is a pretty big radio market. It's not small.
Okay.
And they're like, you don't have any experience, blah, blah, blah. And so a position came open overnight. And so I begged them and worried the mess out of them. And so they gave me a shot. So I would go on the air on the radio 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., the overnight shift. And then I would be the administrative assistant from 8 o'clock to 5 p.m., which is crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah.
But I was young, right out of college. For me, it was like,
let's get it.
I'm driven. I'm determined at this point, because I was like, at that point, I was just filling in until they hired someone. And they ended up giving me the gig.
Okay, so I never noticed. I got to ask you this question.
Yeah.
What was your DJ name on radio? Go ahead and give me a call. Let us talk.
Candy Sanders on Hot 107.7.
Go ahead and do it again.
Candy Sanders on Hot 107.7.
We'll be right back.
I did the Blue Light Basement show.
So I want you to know. I want you to do. Come on, you got to do that.
All of the hits from the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Yeah. So you was Candy? You were Candy? Where did that come from?
I don't know.
The Candy Sanders show?
Some name I made up.
Hold on, who is Candy? Who is Sanders?
I don't know. Some name I made up. I don't know where that came from. I have no idea.
So you was the Candy Sanders show.
That was Candy Sanders on the radio.
Yeah. And
the show that I did was called the Blue Light Basement Show.
Okay.
Playing all the hits from the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Okay.
And I had a ball. I've worked at a country radio station. I've worked at an R&B. I've worked at a hip hop radio station. I love music.
When we did radio together, I didn't know you had that much radio experience. You said you had been in radio, right? But I didn't know you had. So you had way more radio experience than I ever had.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked in radio in Raleigh. I worked in radio again in Gainesville, Florida, because when I first started in television, when you're first starting out, you don't make a whole lot of money in TV. So I was making $14,000 a year, was glad to do it because I was living my dream.
Right.
But I wasn't making enough money to really pay bills. So I was working in radio and TV at the same time. So I would be on the air. So I use a different name with radio, so they didn't know it was.
So let me ask you a question.
The same person.
About it, because I didn't know this. Now I didn't ask you this. Did anybody ever put the two together?
I don't think so.
No.
Wow. So I only worked in Gainesville a year. I wasn't there very long.
Okay.
But it helped me pay the bills because I worked at radio station and the TV station at the same time.
So during that time, if you had to choose one during that time, which one you would have chosen? Radio or TV?
During that time, it was TV.
It was TV. Wow. So
that was my goal. That was my hustle. I was hustling radio to get TV, because in TV, you start out with a very low salary, but as you gain experience, it goes up. You make really good money. Radio, you don't make as much money, but it was fun. Radio
is fun, but you just don't make a lot of money unless you syndicate it.
Don't make a lot of money.
The local DJs or radio talk show hosts do not make a lot of money.
They get their money from like parties they DJ and speaking engagements and stuff.
You know, when I did radio, I owned my own show, so I never knew what they made. And then I got the opportunity to get my own show and work for the radio station.
Yeah.
I gave them back their show because the first check I got, right?
Yeah.
From having my own show.
Yeah.
From 11 to, I think it was 11 to 1. I got my first check, Ronda. And I'm thinking, okay, because when they gave me the opportunity, I never asked them what I was going to get paid. I didn't care.
Yeah.
I got a daytime show. I got that check, and that first check was $300. I'm like, what do you want me to do with it? And I'm thinking to myself, like, is this what y'all do? Because what I realized was you're only working a couple of hours a day. And so the money that you're making a day was probably like $13, $14 an hour, whatever the case may be, right? And I'm like, I can't, this is not going to work for me. I was making more money selling advertisement on my own show, than I was working for the radio station. But yeah, I think, going back to that time and listening to your experience, what you went through.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was fun though. I loved working in radio. I didn't have to dress up. I could just go and play some of my favorite music. So I loved the job. It was fun. But if I wanted to make some real money, TV was where it was at.
So when you graduated you graduated from North Carolina College?
North Carolina Central.
Okay, so you graduated from there. Did you get a chance to work at the TV station there first? So what happened when you graduated?
No, when I graduated, I went straight into radio.
Okay.
And then worked at the radio station as the administrative assistant, and then got the overnight gig.
Okay.
Then I got part-time at some TV stations in Raleigh.
Okay.
So I started on the assignment desk. I was a producer. So in Raleigh at the NBC affiliate, I was the producer for the Consumer Reporter there.
Okay.
And that's when I was like really getting interested in doing consumer type work. And so I would basically go out and schedule the interviews, do all the research.
Wow.
Come up with questions for the interviews, and sometimes actually conduct the interviews and just hand it off to the Consumer Reporter, and she'd write the story and voice it.
Right.
And sometimes I would edit it. So I was doing all the work,
right.
But I was just behind the scenes.
Right.
And so after a while, I'm like, well, I should put together my own resume tape because I'm doing it.
Right.
So I did that, and then that's how I was able to get my own job on the air.
So did you get a job on air in North Carolina?
I did. I did a public affairs show for the NBC affiliate. So I was producer for the news. And then for the public affairs show, I hosted that, and it came on at like 4:00 in the morning. But I was happy to do it because that was my dream. I was loving it.
As I'm listening to your story and your journey, everything that you've done, you've put in the work. And I think a lot of people, when they watch Coffees and Conversations, right, when we sit down and talk to successful people like yourself, people have to understand, like, when you see the Ronda Robinson, right, the award-winning journalist, right, they don't understand the story. You know what I mean? Because I never knew none of this. It's like you was like, bruh, man. You know what I'm saying? You had a bunch of jobs.
I did. I did.
But each one of those jobs got you ready to become the award-winning journalist. You just don't become that person. The English, working at the radio station, working, and you produce your own stories. You wrote your own stories, and then it came when it came out into fruition. You was able to do all those different things. So, when did you get your big break to be an anchor? Was it there or was it somewhere else?
I anchored in Gainesville, Florida. So when I left Raleigh, I was the host of the public affairs show, and I was doing some part-time radio at country station Kicks 96.1. And
it was Kicks 106 here in Birmingham, Alabama.
But so then I went to Gainesville, and I was a reporter, and I would fill in sometimes as the noon anchor in Gainesville, Florida, reporting there at the ABC affiliate. And so I was like, okay, so I kind of got a chance to learn about being a reporter in the field in Gainesville. And then I would fill in whenever the noon anchor was not available. If
they trusted you with that.
Yeah, if the anchor was sick or on vacation or whatever. And so from Gainesville, I went to Columbia, South Carolina. I was an anchor and reporter there as well. And then moved from Columbia, South Carolina to Birmingham.
So let me ask you, during those transition periods, was it because of a job?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And during that time, because I haven't heard you, we haven't spoken on this, I want to ask you a question. Were you able to date, find love in those places, and did the person that you were dating at that particular time, were they moving, or was it tough for you to be able to work and be in a relationship at that time?
So the guy that I dated in college, we dated up until I moved to Birmingham.
Wow. So he moved.
We lived together in Gainesville. We lived together in South Carolina, Columbia. And then when I moved to Birmingham, I think he reached a point where he kind of felt like he was following me to every city.
You think?
It's a male ego thing.
What?
Ladies.
Wait a minute. What?
And so I think he reached a point where he was like, I can't keep following her. I got to kind of stand on my own feet, 2 feet. And as much love as he had for me, I think that was just something he needed to do for him. Right. And, you know, we talk about this to this day because we're still really good friends. We dated for a long time.
That's a long,
yeah, from sophomore year of college up until I moved to Birmingham.
Okay.
And so I moved to Birmingham in 2000. Okay. And so I dated him from the 90s, like 92 up until 2000. Yeah. So
he loved the love that you.
We loved each other. Yeah.
I'm just saying from his part. Oh, man, he loved the love that you. You know what I'm saying? Because he moved from city to city with you.
He did.
Yeah. Look at man. Go ahead, bro. If you watching this show, you the man. You still the man.
He still is. We're still really good friends.
That's good.
He's the one I call when I'm trying to understand this crazy dating world. And I'm like, well, he did this and he did that. And he'll be like, he ain't the one, Rhonda. He ain't the one. He's very honest with me. He knows you. Yeah. And so he has helped educate me because I think I'm clueless, really, when it comes to dating. I'm not. Because when I look back on my life, I was in a relationship for most of my life. Like from sophomore year till I moved to Birmingham, I was in a relationship. I dated my high school sweetheart until I got to college. So I always kind of been in a relationship.
You know what I'm picking up here, and I'm finna be funny here. Seems like once you get to a higher position, you dump them.
Not true.
You know, because when you came to Birmingham, you blew up, and you know.
No, I would have stayed in Columbia if I had known that my boyfriend at the time didn't want to move, but he didn't tell me because he said, and this is growth. Because years later, he said, Rhonda, I knew that if I told you or asked you to stay, you would have stayed. He said, but I wanted you to follow your dreams.
Exactly.
He said, I love you that much that I didn't want to hold you back from your dreams. So he let me go to Birmingham knowing that he wasn't going to come with me. And so we tried the long distance thing for a little while. It didn't work.
So I got to ask you a question.
But he never mistreated me. He was such a good boyfriend.
I got to ask you a question now, because this is, people are watching this. What happened to woman intuition? You didn't know that your man didn't want you to go for real?
I didn't.
So you weren't paying them no attention?
I thought that intuition stuff works when it comes to cheating. I don't know about that. Reading his mind and know he wanted to stand on his own 2 feet. Like, I don't know about that intuition.
So it just works when y'all wanted to work.
It worked when we're trying to figure out if y'all cheating. Joe Lockett.
Black men don't cheat.
Okay. All right.
What you talking about?
Nephew, move me away from him because when the lightning strike, I do not want to get hit.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, this black man don't cheat. I tell the truth.
Right. So what were you being accountable for? You were talking about earlier. You said that you have decided that works best for you to own up to your mistakes. And so what have you been accountable for, sir?
I think for me, I've been accountable for who I am and who I need to be at this point in time in my life.
Okay. What mistakes have you made?
Not recognizing when that I'm making it more about me than somebody else. And lying to myself and that person that what they want is exactly what I want too.
Okay. So kind of people pleasing,
but having the intentions to want to do it, thinking that I can do both, not understanding that at some point, if you really want what you want, you're going to have to make a choice, and you're either going to choose them or you. And for most times, I always chose me, and it comes out badly because I'm trying to explain why I'm choosing me because it makes sense to me, but the other person that you may be with right at the time don't feel that way. And sometimes, as a man, we make promises, Ronda,
that you can't keep.
No, it's not that we can't keep. That the intentions are there, but the timing is not what that woman needs it to be. Because there are good men that have the intentions and want to keep the promise, but because they put that work in, it just haven't come to fruition at that point in time. I mean, like, if there was one in my life 5 years ago, she wouldn't have wanted to fool with me, right? Because of financial situations.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
But now right now God has blessed me. I'm good. Yeah. Everything is okay with me, right? It was just timing. But the question I will have to ask myself during that time, run this here. Would I have gotten to this point with somebody? Right. And one thing that's, like I said, being accountable. I understand now. I'm going to eat ramen noodles and be in the dark, right, with my water turned off by myself. Right. I would never try to build with somebody else again because everybody ain't ready to eat ramen noodles and be in the dark and, for a long period of time. If they are already succeeding and they done went through trials and tribulations with you.
Yeah.
And so what I had to learn was, stop lying to women. Right.
That's a good place to start.
But here's the thing though, Rhonda. I didn't feel I was lying. Right. Because when a man is dating you, right?
Okay.
When I'm dating you because I like you. I see what I want.
You want to sleep with her.
I could care less about sleeping with her because I'm gonna do that anyway. That's a given, right? If I'm dating you with me, you're gonna do that. I'm not worried about that. Yeah.
Okay.
If you date me, yeah, that happens, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm that dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking to the camera saying I'm that dude.
Okay.
But when I'm with somebody, I'm not gonna lie to you. But like I said, I think I have to get to know you, right? And what I learned was I was doing what you expected me to do and not what I wanted to do. So I played to what the cards that you said to me. Whatever you said out to me, I can read you.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm gonna do everything that you need me to do. Now, if that leads to the bedroom, that's fine. But again, I'm at a certain age now. I don't care about that because that's gonna happen. For me, I'm at a point now, like, are we connecting?
Right.
I know how to connect with you, but I don't know how to keep the connection.
Okay.
If I'm not interested. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm not going after the prize, which some people said bedroom. I'm going after you.
Okay.
So what I want from you, Rhonda, is to want me. I want you to want to have my back. I want you to see the small things, not the big things. Right. I want your attention every once in a while.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I want you to think about me about little small stuff like if we're together and I leave the table, you know what kind of wine to order me. Right. If I open up your door, right, by the time I get in the car, you didn't open up my door and push the door open.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? When we walk into a restaurant, you already know not to sit in my chair facing the door, right? You sit in, those are the things that, a woman that knows me. And then when you're walking beside me, right, that you're proud to walk beside me.
Right.
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 So those are the things when I say when I'm in a relationship that you look for now at an age, I don't have to tell you to do. Mature women.
Yeah.
Let me say this. Mature women, you don't have to tell those things too.
You don't.
There's no expectations.
You
right?
don't.
There are times that, like when I'm in the dating world now, if I'm taking somebody out and they're always waiting for me to pay the bill, I ain't got a problem with it, but you're not going to be with me for long. You know what I'm saying? Because you haven't even offered to pay the tip, buy me an appetizer, or even take me out to a meal.
And I've done that for some guys that I've dated. Like Father's Day, I've taken them out for dinner and birthdays.
But you got to know when, though. You got to know when.
Sometimes just like spontaneous. Like I'll be like, I got the bill today.
But what made you want to take him out and do that for the day? Did he deserve it?
Some did, some didn't.
Okay, because your intentions is what I look at. Like I said, Ron, I'm gonna look at you in your face. I need to know you. I need to understand what you're doing this for. Is it pure? Or are you trying to show me that you like me a lot.
Yeah.
I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I truly don't care. Don't try to show me you like me a lot to try to get me to be your man so I can marry you.
No.
No, but I'm just saying some women in this stage, when a woman sees a man that got his stuff together, they try a little bit too hard.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true. And I think it's because women outnumber the men. There's not as many men to choose from. And so women are like, oh, he's a good catch. Oh, he's a good catch. You know. And it's unfortunate, you know, because I think there's some really good women out there, but we can come across as desperate depending on how you act.
Most women that I've encountered, I ain't gonna say most, but some. Can you accept me for where I am? Accept me for what you see, right? And go along the journey with me, because I don't date anymore.
Yeah.
Right. I stopped dating.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I invest.
Okay.
I don't date anymore.
Okay.
Because I'm Joe Lockett, and this is me being facetious, yes, but my ego is big. I'm that dude. So I'm not going to try to impress you with anything. I'm going to give you everything you need if you're with me. So I don't need to date you. So if I take the time to invest in you, you understand that I'm that guy for you. Now some people looking at it like, well, damn him, or damn you too. We good. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to put on the show for you. Right. What you see is what you're going to get. I'm going to give you me every single day. Whatever you see me do in the beginning on a date or when we out or whatever, you're going to get that from me all the time. I'm not going to give anything extra. You see what I'm saying? I think a lot of us mess up when we try to impress you, doing all the flowers and all that. Man, if you're not a flower guy, don't be a flower guy.
Right, because we're going to expect it.
Exactly.
Like, not just, because that's the mistake some guys make. They'll do it the first couple of weeks and then they stop. So it wasn't really genuine. They just wanted to kind of hook us.
And I think, you know, if we're just talking about the dating aspect of life, I think we got to go back a little bit. I was married prior. I've been married twice. You've been married
once.
Okay. And you're now
divorced.
Okay. Was it because of your career?
No.
It just didn't work out for whatever reason. Yeah,
it didn't work out. We had different philosophies when it came to finances. So it didn't work out. We are actually in a good place now. We are friends. I like to call him a friend. But you know, you can be two good people, but you just may not be good together.
What did you miss?
What do I miss?
No, what did you miss? Because when you got into America, when people look at Ronda Robinson, right? Honestly, we'll see you as honestly when we see you, when I saw you on TV and all that stuff, you just see people, they got it all together. You know, it's nothing in their life is wrong, right? But you got married, right?
I got married.
What did you miss?
For me, I think I put unnecessary stress on myself. And I think a lot of women do this.
Okay.
When you get to a certain age, you feel like you should be married. I put unnecessary stress on myself. And so I put pressure on myself to get married. So I feel like what I missed is that I rushed into marriage because I just felt like, oh, I got to get married. I think I was like 36. It was like, no, you don't. For whatever reason in my brain, I thought, oh, because I'm a single mom, my daughter needs to be in a 2-parent household. I was raised in a 2-parent household, blah, blah, blah. Well, my life with my daughter was fine, was stable. You know, I make good money. She was good. But I put that unnecessary pressure on myself. So we didn't date for very long. And I think had I slowed down and not put so much pressure on myself, I may have realized before we got married that, oh, nice guy, but not really. Me and him are not good for marriage. But I think he was at a place he really wanted to be married.
Okay.
I really wanted to be married.
Okay.
So we got married. And it just was not a good fit.
How long did you date before you got married, if you don't mind me asking?
Less than a year.
Okay, so can we talk about this a little bit?
Yeah.
Because I've had a few women on the show, and over the years I've talked with women that have dated someone less than a year, and in a lot of cases, I'm not saying all cases, y'all, but in a lot of cases, it don't work out.
Yeah.
Would you say, because this is just my personal philosophy, right? That especially at our age, women want to know your intentions, but I don't think you know anybody's intentions myself personally to after about a good year.
Yeah.
Right. Because everything can look good and you want to move forward, right? Because we're getting older.
Yeah.
But I don't think unless you go through all the seasons with somebody,
right,
that you're going to see, and you may not see everything, but in a year, most people can't, and as a man, we can't hold on for a year. You know what I'm saying? We're going to screw up. We're going to do something stupid, right? Because our money going to run short.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Our attention span is going to run short if we don't see you like that, right?
Yeah.
And you'll get a chance to see who we are. Let me ask you this question. Do you think that for women, they should wait longer, no matter the age, before they get married, or should they just go ahead if they see it and go enroll with it?
See, I think everybody's different.
Okay.
I mean, I've talked to some guys who have said like they knew like immediately within 2 months, like they knew that X woman was going to be their wife. So I think it's individual. For me, I feel like I rushed.
Okay.
And when I talk to him, he agrees. He feels like he rushed as well. So for us, we should have slowed down our process. I don't know if he put pressure on himself, but I know I did. I have put pressure on myself to say, oh, you're 36, you need to be married. It's the same thing with some women who have not had kids. They reach a certain age and they put this pressure on themselves and they feel like they should have kids. And sometimes family puts pressure on them. Every time you go to Thanksgiving dinner, you got that auntie that's always asking you, when you gonna have some babies? Right. So, and then you got relatives, when you gonna get married? So we put unnecessary pressure, I think, on what society feels like we should be. And I think for everybody, it's individual, and we should be strong enough. And I'm talking to my lady friends to just walk in our own truth and not let society dictate for us what's best for us.
So what's best for Ronda?
Right now I'm loving life. I've been blessed. And I was telling you before the show how it scares me because I don't want to screw it up. I want the blessings to keep coming. So I'm trying to live my life in a way where I do the right thing. I treat people right. And I try not to hold grudges. Even though there have been some guys I've dated that have, I'm like, Lord, I'm just going to let God handle them. I'm going to let karma handle them. But
there's a lot to date Ronda Robinson, right?
Huh?
It's a lot to date Ronda Robinson, right?
If you say so.
No, I'm saying it. I mean, guys right now, right? If someone was to date you, you're still Ronda Robinson. So there's a lot that comes with that. It's just the pressure of when people see that man out with you, you got to come correct. You know what I mean? Because people understand, like, I'm actually dating her. You know what I mean? So that's a lot for a guy to. I think guys probably try to impress you more than anything.
They do.
You know what I mean? Because they think they have to do certain things.
They do.
So it's live right now. What are the things that Ronda Robinson looks for in a guy, and what does a guy need to do to impress you or not impress you?
I love to laugh.
Yes.
I love to have a good time. I went out on a couple of dates, three dates with a guy who's like 8 years younger than me. And we have just had fun. Nothing serious. I told him I want to go skating. I ain't been skating in 20 years.
Wait a minute. You went skating?
I told him I want to go to a comedy show. Done.
Okay.
So I'm having fun. I love to laugh. I love to travel. I like to try new things. So like if there's a new restaurant, new bar, I want to go check it out. That's me. That's who I'm looking for. It's more of a companion than say a husband right now. I'm chilling. Chilling.
So you want somebody to be to hang out with?
Yeah, go to a movie.
So I
want to go hiking. That's on my list next.
Hiking?
I've never been hiking.
Okay.
I might not ever do it again, but I want to do.
Well, how is it to be?
Try.
Okay, so you want to go hiking? Okay, here in Birmingham or somewhere out?
I don't care, wherever I don't get lost.
Make sure you turn your location on your phone so we can find you. All right. But you look so cute. Look at you. You want to go hiking? Okay.
I want to try it.
Okay. Anything else you want to try?
I have what they call a bucket list.
Okay.
So these are all the things before you want to kick the bucket, before you die.
Right.
And so there's some places I want to travel to. I want to travel to Africa. I've never been to Africa.
Okay.
You know, so I have all these things on my list that I want to check
So
off.
is it something that on the list of the things you want to do, is it just things Ronda want to do? Or is that things you want to do with your daughter? Or is that things you want to do with a special person?
It's all of that.
All the above. Okay.
All of that. I like to have fun.
So let me ask you this question as a single man. Right? If I wanted to pick you up, what is a good way to approach you? What are you smiling for?
Because I have been told by guys that they are intimidated to approach me.
I am. If I didn't know you, I would be.
I have been told.
So if I saw you walking in the grocery store, right, and it's Ronda, you don't have a ring on your finger. How the hell am I? What am I supposed to say to you? That's going to get you not mad at me or feel like I'm interrupting. Because most times if I'm seeing you, if I saw you, right, because you're looking like this all the time. When we see you, I'm thinking I'm going to interrupt you. You're busy, right? What can a man say to you in the midst of walking past you or in a store or something that would get your attention?
Something funny. If they break the ice and say something funny,
like
or something silly or goofy.
Like what?
Or something that's gonna make me smile. Like, oh, your hair looks really nice today.
But isn't that cliche? Because I get tired of hearing if I say, oh, Ronda, you're looking good today, girl.
It's the way you do it though, too.
Okay.
Like, is it a really genuine, nice compliment, or are you trying to pick me up?
Of course I'm trying to pick you up.
Trying to get the conversation started. I had a guy pump my gas for me the other day, but he didn't ask me for my number or nothing.
He missed the opportunity.
I'm like, I don't even know. Was he flirting? Was he just being a nice guy? I'm like, I was so confused.
Wait a minute. He just offered to pump your gas?
Yes.
Was it somebody you gave your number to?
No. Like, I was getting out of the car. I put my hand on the thing. And he's like, no, let me get it for you. He didn't pay for it.
Okay.
But he pumped it for me.
What was you look for? Like he could have went ahead and paid for it?
Yeah, if he was trying to hit on me, I would think he would say, I got this. Like he would go pay for it.
Why we got to come out of our pocket to make you listen? What?
Well, he pumped my gas. It was very nice. Thank you, Mr. Stranger, whoever you are.
Wow.
But he didn't ask me for my number. He pumped my gas for me. He said, you have a wonderful day. Beautiful. He called me beautiful.
See, and that should have been a thing. Did you ask him his name or anything?
I think I was in such shock. Like, because I didn't know what was going on.
No.
I didn't know what. Like,
no.
What is he trying? Is he going to try to ask me for money? Like, I didn't know what was going on.
Hold on. The man pumped your gas and you didn't even see. This is why people don't mess with you.
I was so.
This is why people don't mess with you, Ronda. This is why. Really?
I was like, what is going on here? Is he trying to sell me something? Is he a telemarketer? Like, what is going on?
And when you saw none of those things,
he was just being nice, I guess.
See, this is not.
Is he gonna give me a flyer? Like, what is he?
He didn't do none of that. See, nice guys finish last. This is what we were talking about.
But why didn't he ask me for my number?
He pumped your gas.
But he could have said, "May I have your number?"
You could have asked him, "What is your name and how you doing today? I appreciate you." Because it took him a minute to pump the gas, right? And during that time, you didn't say nothing. Because I know if it's about $15 worth of gas, it's about 2 or 3 minutes, right?
It was awkward. I was like, so I did ask him, I said, so do you do this for random people? He was like, no. He's like, you're a beautiful lady. You shouldn't be pumping your own gas.
And you stopped it right there. That's the flirt. That's the open door.
That's why I said I'm clueless, because I don't know what I'm doing.
That's why he didn't go any further, because you wasn't open the door anymore.
I didn't know what to do. Okay. I've never been approached like that. Like, I'm at a bar, okay, I'm used to that.
Right.
Like, even at the grocery store, I've had people, but at the gas station, you just walk up on me and pump my gas. I just did not know what to do. So.
Let me ask you this question. Was he a guy that you would have given your number to?
Yeah.
So you got nervous.
I didn't know what to do.
So in that situation, let me help you out, Ron. If a man is pumping your gas, right? During the time you pump your gas, so what's your name? You're a reporter. I can't believe that you don't know what to say. You've been 25 years on TV, and you can ask questions to anybody, but you can't ask a man the question that's pumping your gas.
You used to be my friend, but now I'm not claiming Joe Lockett as my friend.
I'm just saying, 25 years of being a journalist, all this other stuff, English major, and you can't say, what's your name? Thank you. You know, what brings you here today? You know what I'm saying?
I froze. I didn't know what to do because I'd never experienced that before. And it was a very kind thing that he did.
Did you think about it throughout the day? Did you tell anybody about it, right?
Told several people about it because it was so different.
Right.
And so maybe Mr. Gas Station Guy will look me up and reach out to me at some point.
I think you will.
But it was very nice.
So that was pretty cool though, because that was brave for him to actually say, "Hey, let me pump your gas," and you allow him to do it.
Yeah, you beautiful lady, you're all dressed up. You shouldn't be pumping your own gas. I was like, "Well, thank you.
That's
You're
a
so
gentleman."
kind. I said, "Do you just do this for every woman?"
No.
So he was like, "No." He's like, "I just think that you're a very beautiful woman." And maybe he didn't want to come across as though he was trying to pick me up or something. Maybe he was trying to be respectful.
He was being respectful.
And so I don't know.
When a man goes to that measure, honestly, all jokes aside, you do have to lean in a little bit
to give him the courage
to go further. Yeah. Because if I didn't already actually pump your gas and you're not giving me any kind of flavor, I'm not going to ask you for your phone number because I'm gonna seem like a creep.
Yeah.
Because I already, you know what I'm saying? I don't leaped across the table, right? Jumped over the line and say, "Let me pump your gas." I mean, I already invaded your space.
Yeah.
If you're not receptive, why would I ask you for your phone number? Because now I'm gonna seem like a stalker or somebody. You're not going to trust me.
Yeah.
Right. So, ladies, let this be a lesson from Ronda Robinson, the award-winning journalist. Right. When a man opens up the door a little bit, you don't have to lean all the way in, but at least ask him his name.
Let him think that I am open.
There's a possibility.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to give me your number, hey, follow me on social media.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
So next time, beautiful lady.
I'm good at a lot of things. I'm not good at that part. That the whole dating part is just.
So it would be awkward for a man to actually try to start to talk to you outside there.
Well, I guess I'm used to the traditional, what's your name? Can I take you out to dinner? That kind of thing.
I need to know you before I do all of that.
Yeah. So like I'm learning, Joe. Jeez.
So
give a sister a break. I'm learning.
Okay. Oh, I was going to say something.
I'm learning.
Okay, so if you were to hit on me, how would you hit on me? Or would you come up to a man?
The only thing I have done that's flirtatious,
how do Ronda Robinson flirt?
Because I'm not a walk up to a guy kind of girl, but I have bought a guy a drink before.
Okay.
That I didn't know. I sent a drink over to him and just smiled and said, and then
how did that work out?
I bought him the drink and he came over to me.
My man.
Yeah. We had a nice conversation. Yeah.
And what made you buy him a drink?
I wanted to try it. I have never done that before. And I was like, oh, buy him a drink.
I
had a couple of drinks myself. So I had a little courage. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was nice. We had a nice I couldn't remember. I can't tell you his name now, but I don't remember his name. But he did give me his name and we talked, and I think we may have gone out to dinner after that.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
People are watching this, right? We live.
Yeah, he probably will hear about this story.
And you don't even remember his name.
And be like, what? He'll probably call me and be like, how you not remember my name? Because we only went out that one time. That's probably why. We only went out one time.
Now, ladies, if a man did that, right, and y'all heard this story, how would y'all be feeling about this?
We only went out one time.
And if a man said that about a woman, that we only went out one time, you remember her name, what y'all gonna say? See,
we expect y'all not to remember names because y'all go out with way more people than women go out with.
Not true.
True.
No. Y'all have a list of men, not you, but women.
Men have a whole roster. Okay.
No, we don't.
Somebody
in our order saying that men
do attempt more.
We attempt more, but y'all roster is strong. When you pick up the phone and send a text message, we coming.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? True. Y'all not. You see what I'm saying? So we no, y'all list is way stronger. Your inbox and your list is strong. You know who to call right now to go to dinner, to go to a movie, and probably if you really want to go hiking, you know who to call.
Mm-hmm.
Us as single men, I got to come off the bench. You know what I'm saying? You may pick up the phone call for me, but are you gonna make time for me today?
Right.
How do you see Joe Lockett in your phone? When I look at your phone and see how my name come up, am I boo? Am I a cute one? Am I that dude? You know what I'm saying? So, and you may be just lunch dude.
You might be blocked after this conversation because you giving me a hard time. That's how you gonna come up in my phone, Joe Lockett.
This interview is over. I'm done.
Because he's fussing at me.
I'm not fussing. I'm helping you.
I do. I appreciate the help because I am clueless in some
because
areas.
if you want to talk about the gas station situation, you want to make your people who you talk to hadn't told you, hey, you should have opened up a little bit.
My mom tells me all the time. She's like, you know, he was flirting with you, right? We'll be wherever, and I'll be like, for real? It goes over my head.
So does it goes over your head, or you just don't want to pay no attention?
I think it goes over my head. I really do. I'm learning.
So, is Ronda Robinson looking for love?
Yeah, absolutely.
What does it look like? What does love look like for you?
Oh man, I mean, it's awesome. I'm very loyal. I like marriage, and I think with the right person, it can be beautiful.
How do you know you like marriage? Because your marriage ended in divorce. So how do you know you like it?
Well, there were some good aspects to the marriage. You know, everything wasn't doom and gloom and bad, you know. Yeah. So I love that. I love marriage. I love companionship. I love being in a relationship. I don't like being single. This is not it. But I am content enough with myself that I'm not going to just put up with some trash just to be in a relationship. So
if I may ask, what's some of the things that Ronda Robinson deal with in the dating world?
In the dating world?
That's not. Oh my
gosh. It's just like.
Have Ronda Robinson ever been stood up?
Yeah, I've been stood up. I've been ghosted.
Somebody ghosted you?
Been dogged out. Oh yeah. I'll give you one story. So there was a guy who on a Thursday night was trying to get me to come over. And I wouldn't come over. We had talked earlier in the day about going out on a date. And so he never called me back. And so I went out with my sorority sisters. And so when he does decide to call me back, it's like 9 or 10 o'clock. So you know what that's about. He wants me to come over and have sex or whatever. And I didn't want to do that. And so I'm like, well, I'm already out with my sorority sisters now. So I'm like, we're at this bar. You can come out here where we are. He didn't want to do that. He wanted me to leave them to go see him at his house. And I wasn't going to go because I liked him. I knew that if I went over there, I'd probably have sex with him. So by Sunday, this is a Thursday. By Sunday, I called to check in with him because I want to let him know I like you. I'm just not going to sleep with you right now.
Right.
He proceeds to say, well, I'm on the road back from Gatlinburg with my girlfriend.
Wait a minute. What?
Okay. So I'm so glad I didn't sleep with you.
Yeah, good God.
So that's from Thursday to Sunday.
How did you meet that guy? He wasn't at the gas station. I
know. No. He's someone I have known for many years. Dated a long time ago, and then we reconnected. But there was a reason why I must have let him go a long time ago. So anyway, he's a liar. So yeah, so that really happened. That really happened.
So does that shake your confidence when you looking for relationship?
It does make me cautious, you know, because you don't want to assume that everyone is a liar or a cheater or trying to run game, but it does make you wonder, like, okay, is this guy genuine or what? So yeah, I mean, I was thanking the Lord, like, I'm so glad I didn't go over there that night, because I really think I would have been devastated by Sunday finding out
That he got a girlfriend.
Yeah, it's like, so this girlfriend didn't just magically appear from Thursday to Sunday. You had her the whole time.
Right.
Yeah, that hurt. That one hurt.
I haven't had that one.
Yeah.
Because I usually know, for the most part, if someone, well, I assume everyone got a man or their main.
They're dealing with someone.
That's my assumption from get-go. When I meet, especially when I meet a beautiful woman, right? I'm going to say to myself, even if she give me the time of the day, I'm the guy coming off the bench. Or
someone else. Yeah.
I'm coming off the bench.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's no way in the world that somebody don't have her attention, or that somebody she's talking to that can get her attention better than me. Right. So I always kind of lay back in the cut and just kind of figure out what my position is going to be. You know what I'm saying? And play accordingly. Because I am a come off the bench type guy. I don't want to be the main guy in your life, because I'm not going to marry you up and I'm not going to be your boyfriend. And I tell you that up front.
Well, that's good that you're honest. Why can't other guys be honest? I wonder.
I think because the way the culture is set for society for dating, we feel we have to lie to you about our intentions, right? And I'm just comfortable enough at this point in my life to let a woman know, like, I don't care if I sleep with you or not. I know if I want to sleep with somebody, I'm a decent enough looking guy that I can either go pay somebody to go sleep with, or I can go find somebody to go sleep with.
Right. And the same thing for women. Like, we don't have to lie, because if we want to have sex, all we gotta do is pick up the phone. Ain't no guy gonna turn us down.
Yeah, I wouldn't turn around.
You know what I'm saying? Just women in general. Like, so there's really no need for anyone to lie. Is my point.
I agree with you, but I think, and the people listen to Coffee Conversation, we got Ronda Robinson in the building. I think when we're talking about this, though, we have to really be honest that the pressure that the woman puts on the man, right, or the demand is there, especially like you said, once you get to a certain age. Women always, I hear women say, I don't have time for games. Right? I don't. But if I tell you that I'm not looking for nothing, right, most women tell me, I'm going to say 7 out of 10 women tell me that I'm about the games. No, I'm actually telling you the truth. I don't want to be in a relationship. I'm not about games. I'm just confident that I'm good where I am. If you're looking for a guy that's for about marriage and for relationships, you need to go be with that guy. Right. And I think women are not ready to have that true conversation. See, women don't think that I can be your friend and not try to sleep with you.
Well, because a lot of men have not been genuine when they say that. They say they will be friends, but they're really still looking for a way in to sleep with us. And I guess speaking on that situation I shared with you, I'm very upfront with the guys that I date. I'm like, I'm at a point in my life where I am looking for exclusivity, even if it's not a relationship per se. I'm looking for one person to hang with. And if you're wanting to be single and you're not ready for a relationship or ready to just see one person, I respect that, but that's just not what I'm looking for.
Okay, can we pause for right there, right, man? Because I think this is where men and women, and if y'all watching this, I think I really need to tune in here. Because what you're saying sounds great.
Okay.
However, when we first get together, I don't want to be exclusive with you, Ronda.
I know.
How do I know this? So why would I sit there and tell you? So this is why we lie.
Okay.
Right? Okay. This is why I'm gonna lie to you. Because the only way to get with you is that I got to be exclusive. But there's no way in the world when I first meet you, right? And I'm going to say, well, I'm going to date you exclusively. That's what's going to happen.
No, not on the first date.
No, but I'm just saying even a month in. I'm not finna give up everything I got on the side just to be with you.
I get it.
So that's what I'm saying. So I need to be able to tell you, yes, I do talk to other people, and you can too. Once we see that we at a place where we want to be exclusive, let's have that conversation.
Right.
But if you come out the box telling me that crap,
right.
Let me back up.
Not out of the box, but I'm setting the standard. This is my expectation. If we make that connection, if we decide I like you a lot, you like me a lot. I'm a goal-oriented person. So for me, dating someone for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years,
no,
and we don't have a goal.
No, we're not gonna do that. Yeah,
that feels like a waste of time. So that's what I'm saying.
But can we help people how to have that conversation? The better way of having that conversation, because this conversation is had like a month or 2 months in a relationship. Where we going? What we doing?
Right.
Nowhere.
Not yet.
No, but I'm
That's
saying this
too
is
soon.
But this is for me. Like when when a woman asks me, okay, what are we doing right now? Right? Nothing. Right? Where are we going? Nowhere.
But when you do reach that point, if we've been seeing each other, when you do reach that point and you either have strong feelings for me or have strong feelings for someone else, the respectful thing to do is to say that, Rhonda, we've had a good time these 3 years or whatever, 4 years, 2 weeks. I met somebody else I'm kind of digging right now.
Right.
Then that is the respectful way. Unfortunately, some guys will still try to date Rhonda and Rashika and Jane and Mary and everybody else, even though they have this one person, LaWanda, who is supposed to be their girl or their main person that they really have feelings for. So my whole thing is, no, you may not know the first month, you may not know the first year, but whenever you do know,
let you know.
I think it's more respectful to have that conversation with that person and say, okay, this is not going any further for me. Or, yes, I'd like to take this to the next level. And then I'm going to let all these other people go.
But I think a lot of times when people watch this show today, I think a lot of times, Rhonda, that conversation like that is not had because you can't get past someone saying that I'm not going to be exclusive just to you. A lot of women don't want to hear that I'm talking to other women.
But there are some women who are okay with that.
Maybe, but for the most part, until I'm able to actually sit down and have the true conversation without where they're able to listen. Let me just say that.
I have friends like that.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, Rhonda, he's not married. Yeah. I'm doing my thing. He doing his thing. Yeah. They're completely cool with that. Because
I think, especially at our age, that it takes time. And am I looking to be married? No. But if I see a great woman that I can have a companionship with and we understand each other, that she's already happy, and I can add to her happiness, I would love to be married to that woman.
Right.
But what I'm not going to do is date a woman that's unhappy.
Right.
And she's looking for me to be that guy to say, I got you all the time.
Right.
I'm not doing that anymore.
Right.
I'm too happy and with 100% of everything that I have to do that.
Right. And I think for you, though, when you meet the one that you really, really like, it's going to be so easy for you.
Yes. Yes, I believe so, too.
It's not going to be, I feel like I got to do this or I got to do this. You're going to want to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think it's with you, too, though.
Yeah.
Because once you've been married, you know what you want. And I don't need anybody to complete me. I'm complete. That's the biggest thing that I had to learn where I am now. I'm already complete.
Yeah.
I would love to have somebody to spend the rest of my life with and experience new things with.
Exactly.
Right. But I don't want to get into the rigmarole of day-to-day life.
Right.
That who's going to take care of this? Who's going to do this? Why didn't you do this? I'm not doing that anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because now I get to go and do what I want to go do. I take care of everything myself. I need to find a woman who's in the same position. And that's just honestly, if you don't have everything I have, we cannot date.
Right.
We cannot be together. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to build no bear.
Same thing with me. Yeah. Like I own my own house. I have a car. I have a career that I'm really happy with. Like if you're still a Build-A-Bear, I can't build you. I can't fix you. If you got mommy issues, I cannot try to heal a grown man. Like I'm over that. I've tried that. It don't work. I'm not dating potential. You need to be where you're gonna be with me because I have accomplished the things.
Why do you got people in the audience clapping for you now?
Because that they know that I'm talking truth right now. It's like really, I don't want to build you. I don't want to date your potential. I want you to already be there because I feel like I've done the work to heal. I've gone to therapy, like I've done the hard work.
Wait a minute.
Put in the hours.
You went to therapy?
I did. I'm an advocate.
Okay. What was that like?
I believe in it. Like I think all of us.
Did you go to therapy because of depression, work, divorce?
All of the above.
Wow. You saw depression too?
Oh yeah, I'm writing a book about it.
Okay, I got an exclusive here. I didn't know that.
I'm writing a book about it. My experiences with depression and talking about mental illness and therapy, and how in the Black community we don't talk about it enough. We know that big elephant is in the room, but we don't talk about it. And I love church and I love religion, but we have a bad habit of saying, "Oh, I'm just gonna pray about it." It might take a little more than prayer. It might take a little more than prayer. I'm not saying don't pray. I pray, but I also go and see my therapist or call my therapist or have a video chat with my therapist.
So you're still in therapy?
Oh yeah. Okay. I don't think you should stop. Okay. I really don't. I think we are always evolving. We're always learning. We're always trying to be better people. So I think it's helpful to talk to people who are professionals, who are not biased, who gonna tell you the real, like, Rhonda, you're wrong, or Rhonda, yeah, this person treated you badly, and give you some good advice, or just be a listening ear.
Wow.
Non-judgmental, just giving you an opportunity to have someone you can use as your outlet. Wow. We all need that.
Before we close, I want to ask you 2 questions. What's on the future for Ronda Robinson? What's the future holds for you and Carmine Communications?
The future is bright because I'm working on 2 or 3 potential new businesses.
Okay. Like always.
And I'm working on the book that I told you about, and just living life, man. God is good. I'm so thankful. Man,
who you telling?
I'm just always thinking
and
of
it's good
things
to see you,
that I want to do.
But it's good to see you in a space where you're happy.
I am.
You and I both went through something similar.
Yeah.
But look at us now.
Yeah.
We're sitting here smiling. And I want to ask you something. Can I take you on a date afterwards and for lunch?
Let's go.
We can do that?
Let's go.
Okay. All right. Last question. I'm going to let you get out of here, Ronda. What would you tell the 13-year-old Ronda Robinson from the experience you had? What would you, if you had a chance to look back at her today, what would you tell her?
I would say, don't sweat the small stuff. I spent too much time in my life worrying about what people think, worrying about what people say about me. And I'm 52 and I could care less. I wish I had this confidence in my 20s.
Wow.
I'm at that point in my life. You love me for who I am, faults and all.
Right.
Or you just don't. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. There are people around here still holding grudges because of investigative reports I did 10 years ago. That's your problem, not mine.
Wow.
I'm all right.
You heard it from the one
over here.
You heard it from the one. Let's be comfortable together. Ronda, thank you so much for making time for me.
My blue ginseng jasmine tea.
The filter coffee powder.
It's very good. Very good. Very good.
All right, guys, do me a favor. Make sure you guys share this this video out there. The great Ronda Robinson was in the building. We got more out of her than I've ever gotten her in a lifetime. Learned a lot about her. If they want to find you, where can they find you?
I'm on Facebook. My name, Ronda Robinson, no H. And then Carmine Communications on all social media platforms. All
right, guys. We'll see you guys next week. We want to thank Ronda Robinson for stopping by, having coffee with me. And the next week guest, stay on social media. You guys can find out who it is. Y'all know how I feel about you, right? I love you.